Hello Bob, welcome to your channel. Today we're in Savile Row, London, England, bringing you sartorial news and conversation.
Hello everybody, it's Robert Powers.
4.5 out of 5.
My shoe collection.
These are made of shell cord.
Here they are finished up.
I'm not a professional. Look how tight this is though.
Very clearly here, I just cut the thread in half. And here they are, all finished up.
Okay, I'm here with Hayden. As you saw in the introduction, you visited England, or
Yes.
right? We're going to play the video that you recorded of Savile Row and
All sorts of
Jermyn Street.
Jermyn Street,
Okay.
and Oxford Street,
Okay.
and all the places along the way that. Well, you actually gave me a list, didn't you?
Yes.
You know, you said, Hayden, please, please, can you go and visit all these locations for me? And they were on my way. They were easy to get to and easy to find. So we've got a video.
Yes. Only downside is that I think it was on a Sunday, right? Because even though you were there for a while, you were still busy. You had a life and work and things like that. You know, so, but we're going to show the video here and we're just going to kind of talk over it. I'm going to ask a bunch of dumb questions. But for those of you that may not know, what is Savile Row? You may hear of that. Savile Row, correct me if I'm wrong. Savile Row is a street, one short little street. Didn't realize how.
Actually, very short.
You can walk it in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
Well,
right?
less than that. Yeah.
And it has some of the highest and greatest bespoke tailors, especially, right? And shoemakers of the world. A lot of them are on this one little street, right?
Yes, I mean kings and queens go to, you know, yes.
Literally. Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't we just start playing the video and like I said, we'll
Do it.
talk over it. So this is William Hunt.
Yes, this is, so you're looking at the window, there's me, reflection. Cars going by, driving on the British side of the road of William Hunt shoes and shirt makers.
And suits, of course.
And suits,
Is this the one? Is this the one from the movie Oxford's Not Brogues?
No,
that's another. Okay, we'll
that's
get to
another
that
one. But as you can see, this is, I obviously managed to sort of avoid the reflection on the glass as best I could, but they have chandeliers inside. I mean, where we get some of our suits.
By the way, real quick, look at that belly, that roll they call that belly.
Yes.
Like, it's just gorgeous. You don't get that in an off the rack.
And I mean, look how low the lapels are coming down.
Yeah.
And yes.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely. So we're now at the Cad and Dandy, which is obviously a wool. Some really nice patch pockets there.
Looks like, is that women stuff too?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So that was William Hunt again from across the road.
Okay.
So there was that suit that had the keychain in. So Gazio and Girling. I mean, this is probably one that is within my price range, but only just.
Yes, and if you're a fan of Kirby Allison's channel, you've seen them.
Yes, you have seen these. You saw a suit there. I mean, amazing shoes. Absolutely amazing.
They're kind of famous for that chisel toe, that chisel point.
Very chisel toe.
It is a distinctive silhouette from the top, and if we get to see from the side,
yes,
it's also got like an angle. It's just, you can tell once you see it, it's very difficult to make, which is why they do it, I think, right? Do they make suits?
Yes, they do. But also the shoes are looking. So you re-stitched a pair of your own shoes recently.
I did, but no, it doesn't look like that.
Doesn't look like that.
Fiddleback waist there.
Fiddleback waist. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I know
Narrowed
yours.
waist.
Yeah, yes. So Huntsman. So this is your Oxford Not Brogues.
Okay, the Kingsman movie.
The Kingsman movie.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
And obviously we're in autumn. We're in fall at the time of recording. This is on a Sunday, so it's and obviously the poppy because armistice, end of the First World War.
Oh wow.
Holland and Sherry. So this one is famous for all the James Bond suits.
Oh really? Okay.
Yes.
There you go, Sean Connery, right?
Sean Connery, yes. Again, we have this reflection in the window.
Right.
You know, I'm doing this with my phone. It's very rough and ready, but goodness gracious. And
Peel and Company.
Peel and Company.
Another name I've heard. Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, this was one that you.
Oh, Poole. Sorry, Henry Poole.
Yes, Henry Poole. So if you don't go to Huntsman, you probably go to Poole.
Okay.
And now so you wanted me to go to Oxford Street. So these are the Christmas lights on Oxford Street and Jermyn Street.
How do you say it?
Oxford.
Jermaine. Jermaine, not Jermyn.
No.
Jermaine.
Germain.
Germain. Okay, I've seen that name because of Charles another name I don't know how to say. Charles Tyrwhitt.
Tyrwhitt, and yes.
Okay.
Charles Tyrwhitt.
Their shirts all have that, Jermyn Street. Okay, but anyway, maybe I could back this up just a second here. Okay, so where are we at now? So, this is Churches.
Yes.
Okay.
And obviously,
they're a big name.
They're a big name.
Their shoes tend to be a little bit thicker soles and not so angular on the toes, right? More the traditional.
More the traditional, yes. Charles Tyrwhitt.
And one more time, how do you say that?
Tyrwhitt.
It's a TH sound at the beginning?
Yes, it's Charles Tyrwhitt.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I'll get that.
So these are bespoke shirt makers, but they also they like to sort of dress the city. So their shirts can go expensive, but you can also get really quite reasonable.
Right.
Crockett and Jones slippers. They like their slippers, but obviously they're.
You would call a loafer a slipper?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Northampton, England.
Indeed. Now that we've just seen an example of pebble grain, which I can't stand, but you, oh my goodness, look at those shading. In fact, that sign, I think I zoom in on it, but it's a shading service, patina service, full patina, that's about $200 American.
Okay.
And museum finish. Oh my goodness, look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah, look at the wingtips. Look at that, how fine the work is. Look how small those broguing holes are, and how fine that pinking is, that sawtooth edge. So 470 pounds, was that like 550, $600, something like that?
Yes, you're getting close to 600, yes.
Was it like $1.20 for a pound, something like that?
Yes, something like that.
Crockett and Jones, okay, yeah. They have a little more of that, little more fashion forward for the English, right?
Yes.
But all the English stuff seems to be Goodyear welted. Pretty much, right?
Pretty much.
Not Blake.
Not Blake, yeah. Slipper service, yeah.
Wow. Special order slippers.
And also you can get your crown, your crest, or your initials on the on the toe.
Okay.
High gloss polish.
We call that. There's a name for that. I forget what it's called, but anyway. Patent leather.
Yes, patent leather.
So this is looking down Savile Row, right?
No, you're looking down Jermyn Street.
Jermyn Street. Okay,
yes.
sorry. Yeah.
So
John Lobb.
Yes.
If you watch Kirby Alice and you've seen John Lobb, he's made shoes for the Prince and King Charles.
Yes, King Charles. Yep. So this is one I didn't know about. Maybe you know about this brand, but
no, I think I've maybe heard of it. Maybe.
Yes.
That's it. No.
Yeah.
Barker.
Yes.
I've seen.
Yes.
I've seen some of their stuff. I don't see. Of these brands, I'd say here in the U.S., I've seen Church's shoes. Like actual thrifting.
Yep.
I've seen definitely Charles Tyrwhitt. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Their shirts are pretty popular. I think those are probably the two main ones. Crockett and Jones occasionally, but
yeah. Loke, have you seen? Do you get Loke?
Yes. Loke, I think, is a little bit of the lower. They have lower priced stuff, like more entry level.
More entry level, but yeah.
Okay, there we go. Oh, handbags too.
Yes, and duffel bags.
Okay. And it sounds like, or it looks like to me, they're a little less elongated toe.
Yes.
Loke, right? They all have kind of their last style, I guess, right?
Indeed. So Taylor of Bond Street. This is not shoes, but this is your gentleman's shaving accessories.
Wow.
Very cool. And I think Kirby Allison did the
arcades.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Piccadilly Arcade. Okay.
Yes.
And this is not an arcade like video games, but
no, and but there's a lot of like Rolex, Crockett and Jones in this arcade.
Because there's a couple, 2 or 3 Crockett and Jones stores within a few mile area of England here, right?
Yes.
And this is all downtown England, right? Downtown London, I should say.
Downtown London, yes. City of West.
And where are we? Cad the Dandy.
And the Dandy. So
Cad and the Dandy. Okay.
Yeah, handmade slippers.
Wow. Those are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, are those actual outdoor shoes, or are those like indoor slippers?
Indoor slippers,
okay.
Yes.
Now we're back on Savile Row.
Back on Savile Row here.
You can see
yes.
victims of COVID, I would guess. Right?
I would guess, yes.
And there's 2 levels there, so we see right the stairwell which goes down, which it took me a couple times watching your videos to realize, right? So there's basically 2 levels of shops.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're not sure what was in number 5, but
Yeah. Wow, that's funny. That's the address is 5. Okay.
yeah, lovely patch pockets jacket there.
Uh-huh.
And they're on 2 levels. They probably have the cutting room in the basement.
Okay.
Down there. And just to remind you, I was walking around with my phone camera, just recording.
Yeah.
In fact, we were talking on the phone as I was recording.
Uh-huh. Okay. Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Now back to you.
Okay, so that's Savile Row.
Yes.
So I guess as an American's point of view, because there's going to be viewers here that know way more than me, about the area. There'll be ones that are, know completely, zero, and that's why I kind of tried to say in the beginning, hey, this is where a lot of the best bespoke tailors, suit makers, and shoemakers. So can you explain something to me? Because I think there is a massive culture difference between England, UK in general, and the United States, right?
Yes.
You could be, I don't know, shunned is the right word, for wearing a suit with brown shoes
And with a
versus
black belt. Yes.
or just a brown Oxford shoe instead of a black Oxford shoe. Could you explain that?
Yes.
And then the culture of dressing up in general.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about America to therefore talk about England. So England, America has this, Hawaiian shirt, sort of mentality.
Yeah.
And you also wear a lot of polo shirts, which are really sort of t-shirts with collars. Nothing much more than that. But in certain professions in London, particularly in the advertising industry, the legal industry, the sort of the press side, and media, you still see formal wear as expected, and therefore worn. Particularly, there's a lot of banking in England, particularly in London. There's a lot of architect firms. There's plenty of law firms, and you also get the office worker as well, where it's expected to come in, and many people dress for the job they want and not the job they have.
So this is more within the professions. In other words, if you were an architect and I were an engineer and I had to see you, I'd better be wearing the right black dress shoe, right?
Yes.
No brown in town, some of those things.
Exactly.
But if I'm visiting London, there's not that expectation as a tourist, correct?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Also, there's a lot more walking. There's a lot more pedestrian idea in London. Walking to the tube, the underground, the station. Walking, on
Subway?
On the subway.
Tube?
Yes. The buses, and walking to get your lunch, and around the.
Pardon my dog there.
Pardon your dog there. And walking around. So a good pair of shoes, cork insoles, insoles, things like that are really...
That makes sense, and thus maybe is that one of the differences why, if you don't know what Goodyear welted is versus Blake stitched, I'll put a link in the description below, but a Goodyear welted shoe versus Blake stitched has thicker overall, more space between your foot and the ground, and more padding, more insulation. That would make sense.
Yes,
because of the amount of walking.
The amount of walking, and if the pavements, if the sidewalks are concrete or cobbles or stones, a good pair of shoes can really make the difference.
So a lot of the style, I mean, I guess that's true in all genres, but a lot of the style is function. The function follow. What does they say? The style follows the functionality.
Yes, and the function follows form.
Okay.
Yes.
Could you explain No Brown in Town?
Yes, I can. Yes. So
okay.
it's a bit of a Victorian thing. Brown was just seen as not de rigueur, not the way that it was done.
A country color, right?
A country color. Yes, exactly. Now, obviously, you see, brown shoes in London all the time. Don't take an old expression as matching today's civility. or you know, or fashion. And in fact, you see a lot of brown shoes because in London, because they're really quite stylish.
Right. And I think they show the beauty of the leather more. But what did it mean?
So it really meant, yes, that your town was the city, you know, London, that it was black shoes, and
only black,
or dark colours.
Okay.
You know, like maybe a dark blue if you had a bit of a personality. But yes,
interesting.
But brown was reserved for the countryside and country walks.
Wow, interesting. Okay. And then now when you say a country shoe or country attire, that would be the browns, and especially then you get into like the derbies with the double oak soles, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And tweed being yes.
Okay. And then, you know, with the sport jackets with the, right, you know, odd color jackets, different slacks and trousers. Okay.
Exactly.
And the double oak soles generally are larger, you know, you have more contact with ground, and isn't the part of the purpose of that, well, you get the storm welt that comes up, but then you get more contact, so in other words, the shoe doesn't sink into the mud as much.
Absolutely.
Right?
And your feet don't get wet, because I mean puddles, rain, you know, England's an island, it rains a smidge more. If you're walking on cobbles, it's just a smidge more comfortable.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So my next question for you.
Yes.
Is it still fair to say in England, or UK/England in general, is there still more level of, I believe, formality, not just in attire, but in all areas of life? Is that a fair statement? You know, social rules are more important in general.
I think in London, when you start leaving London, that goes out the window remarkably quickly, and you start coming back into you know, polo shirts and more sort of casual shoes. Yes, you do see people wearing, you know, sneakers into the office outside of you know, outside of London.
Okay.
There's a
It makes sense too, because I mean, I'm here in Northeast Ohio. You know, Akron area is very, very lax, even in business events in Akron. You know, but it is a little bit of a step up if I go to a networking event for, say, in downtown Cleveland. There's some, you know, if it's a business district of downtown Cleveland during the day, but if, you know, like I went to Ohio City is like an outskirt of Cleveland networking event, and most of the people are not from downtown Cleveland. So even wearing a suit to that event, that business networking event, I think I was the only person with a suit and tie on, you know, but, you know, so.
And I think that, you know, when you start getting jobs in London, that it starts commanding a salary. And I think the employees are starting to think, well, if we're giving you this salary, which is different from outside of London, well, you know, the expectation is there that, you know, please fit in with the rest of the office. You know, if you're not going to fit in, then, you know, other things may occur. You know, situational, opposite to your employment status may happen.
So one of the things that I think is interesting about YouTube, the best thing about it is you're able to learn so much, you know, basically for free.
Yes.
You know, and you can see what the sources you're getting things from are, right?
Yes.
You know, but one of the downsides, I think, is sometimes we have to be careful. The formality level of the clothes you're wearing, I think, is extremely important to understand the environment you're in. As I've said, you know, I went to a banquet for the cheerleaders at the middle school my daughter goes to, cheerleaders and football players, you know, and that was on I think it was a Sunday, so I had jeans on, you know, a casual, you know, business shirt and a sport jacket. There was people there literally in shorts and t-shirts.
Yes.
You know, and I was like, I would have at least thrown a, you know, collar on for a banquet I mean, it's that casual, you know, where you could have come in flip-flops, you know, which, you know, I don't go to Walmart, and, you know, only place I wear a sandal to is if I'm actually at the beach or going to the beach, you know, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But, you know, but I think, don't you agree that's one of the things we need to be really aware of and conscious of is, I would never wear that with that. Well, okay, you're in New York.
Yes.
What are your opinions on that now that you've seen London? Because you actually lived north of London, right, in the Midlands?
Yes.
And now Northeast Ohio. What's your take on that? How formal should you dress, in your opinion?
I think always match the culture of the office, and I'm sorry, that's a little bit of a sort of a throwaway answer. It's a bit wishy-washy. You can always set the style. If the office is jeans and t-shirt or flip-flops and sandals, there's no objection for you setting the style and you dressing slightly, being the smartest person in the room. I think you'll never get into trouble.
I 100% agree.
You know, if you feel that where you work is letting the side down in terms of the character and the gravitas of your profession, then by all means accelerate the style. Be the person that just you can do this every 2 months. Just be a little bit smarter every 2 months. Every 8 weeks, just be a little bit smarter, and you'll see people that look at your style and go, oh, I really like that, and I want to
agree.
I want to dress like that as well, because I miss dressing like that. I'm dressing down to follow the crowd, and actually I want to dress up because it's a suit of armor. It
is, and I've said that before. Actually, being in business and I work in finance where I face rejection, and I feel like a nice sport jacket, and slacks, or even a suit. It is, to me, it feels like a suit of armor, and it protects me. And it's all psychological, right? But I 100% agree, and I do enjoy dressing maybe just a little bit nicer than is necessary. And what I found is people around you will kind of make fun of you. Why are you wearing and it's funny though, is after a couple, it might be a couple months, it might be a couple years, depending, like with the family and stuff, they give up making fun of you. They realize, no, that's how Bob is, and it flipped, because then my family started to defend me. My husband's always like that. My dad always does that, and it's kind of a thing where that's me. This is what I'm known for, and I'm not apologizing for it. So.
A situation happened to me. I was in an office. I was trying to elevate the status. I was trying to be the smartest person in the room, and someone came up to me, and I was wearing a suit, and someone said, why are you dressed like that? I looked at my watch and said, oh, it's Wednesday.
That's awesome. Did they just kind of look at you like, huh?
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. So I wish we could go deeper, and visit, every one of those stores and see stuff. But actually, next week's video, you want to at least show the bag? Next week's video, we have an unboxing. You did buy something while you were there, right?
I did.
All right. So come back next week. I know we're going to make you wait a week to come back for the unboxing of a pair of Loke. Those looks like a pair of Oxfords to me.
Yes, they are.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. God bless you guys. And if you want to see more stuff, go to my playlist. Have an amazing day.
Thank you.